All right, guys, so this is part 2 when it comes to how to group or batch color multiple frames in an animated folder using Clip Studio Paint. We have 2 methods, and I'm going to start with the second best method. And I'm going to use an animation I did a couple years ago, which is what you see here on the screen. It's not the greatest. I was definitely a novice still, but this was my first kind of foray into character animation. So briefly, let's just show kind of how it looks like. No sound, no background, no anything, you know. So you can tell very rough animation, but it serves as a good example because each color of the animation is in its own folders. Okay, so in my first video, I mentioned something called Convert to Drawing Color, which is under Edit, and you can find that here. And so just for an example, we're going to use the hair coloring layer. And so I'm going to hit the drop down here, go to cell 8. And for instance, I can use Convert to Drawing Color, and let me just choose a red, which I've chosen here. And if I click this, then you'll see that it's converted to red for the hair layer. The problem is, like I mentioned earlier, it's only for one layer, right? So if I shift based on keyframes, you'll see that's just one layer. So now I can use a shortcut, which is here, Convert to Drawing Color. And so I can just do each one. So let's say I go to the beginning, right? And then I'll just hit Convert to Drawing Color, next keyframe, drawing color, and so on and so forth. But again, it's one at a time. So I have to manually do it, like I said, for each layer, right? No bueno. So let me go ahead and use the history tool, which you can see here. And then let me go ahead and go to the beginning. And so for an alternative, I tried, hey, let me select all the layers and then convert at once. Let's try that. And so if you do this, then it'll still only convert one layer, even if you select all the layers. Now, a workaround to this, and why this is the second best method, is you can highlight all of the layers, drag it out of the animation folder to where now they're just regular layers. And you see now they're all on top of each other, but I still have them selected. And then I'll hit Convert to Drawing Color right here. And after I do that, then all of the layers have been converted at the same time, which it seems you can't do that if it's in an animation folder. And so since I still have it selected, I'll just go ahead and drag this back into the hair color animated folder. Bam. And now if I go to the beginning and I play it, you'll see everything is converted to red for the hair. And I can do this for any other, animation folder that contains a color. And obviously this is a destructive change. So, given you need to have a flat first, like I said, you just need to have colored it in first. Then you can easily change a color using this method. And so for the best method when it comes to group coloring an animation folder, let's talk about it. And that best method is using a layer color. So years ago, I had made a auto action when it comes to changing all of the strokes to a certain color using layer color and doing it automatically. For instance, let's say I go back to black here, right? And I just draw a couple things, whatever. Square, circle. And then I go to my quick access menu and I choose what I call trainer red. Turns on layer color option, and then it changes the layer color to red. And I can do the same thing for blue, which is this. And there's an option in the shortcuts menu where you can just switch layer color on and off. So I was thinking, hey, so why can't I do that with, layer colors, right? So let me go back here and let me go to the history tool. Let's turn this back to normal. And if you see that, hey, for instance, for cell 8, then I'll turn on layer colors. Bam. Okay, it's on. But the problem is, like the initial problem to convert to drawing color, it's just one layer, right? So obviously I want to change more. So I will have to continually do this, right? To press layer color each time I do a different layer. Also, I need to manually change the color to what I want it to be, right? You know what I mean? So yeah, if I want to change the green, I need to do that. However, what you can do, what I didn't know you can do about layer colors is you can change the layer color of an entire folder. And you can change the layer color of an entire animation folder. So you see where I'm getting at with this. Essentially, all I need to do is click here. And just for proof, if you go through an animation, the hair color is the exact same, right? So if I go to the actual folder of the hair color, animation folder, and I click layer color, then the whole folder is changed to this specific layer color. So as you can see, when I do this, it's changed. And this is the ultimate solution. I've been using Clip Paint for years and I never knew you could use it in this way when it comes to layer color. But now there are some things to look out for. So number one is that, okay, obviously I want my own color on here, you know, this, you're doing your animation. So you ideally want to choose your colors and not the default layer color, which is this light blue. Since if you look at the manual for layer color on the CSP site, it says it's for more like drafting and more sketching. So that's why they defaulted to like a lighter blue. So one thing you have to look out for is if you need to expand this and make sure subcolor is on, you know, because say if I choose a green and I change a layer color to this, then it's not doing the exact green that I chose because the subcolor is on, which is white. And that's going to influence it to be a lighter color versus the layer color is going to be the darker color. So it's going to range from light to dark. Take into account the luminosity of the subcolor. So for proof of this, if I make another layer and I drag it out of the animation folder and I just color using the green that you see, then you'll see that it's not the same green. If I overlap it, you see that the color is different. So what you need to do is go here to the folder layer color and make sure the subcolor is the same as this color. So all you need to do is click this pink bucket icon, change it to green, and now it's the same type of green. And you can see if I go back to the layer and I sketch here, then there's no overlap, it's the same color. So essentially you need to make sure that the same color is for both the layer color and the subcolor, and that color is being used for the animation folder. And after we've done that, if we just delete this, then you can see that the whole animation is the color you want it to. And if you export it, the color will still be there. And so it's a foolproof method and it's non-destructive. So all you have to do to take it off is just switch to layer color right here. Or you can just turn this on and off and the same color that you set will remain there. So it's very non-destructive. Like I say, it's almost like a layer mask or a correction layer. And let's say I want to make the undershirt more like a cerulean blue. Then again, all I have to do is go to layer color right here. And then I'll just make sure that this color is selected and then just hit the paint bucket tool and also do it for the subcolor. And then that is the color. And so for the undershirt, it will contain that color throughout all of the cells. This is the best method when it comes to coloring on Clip Paint and doing things that other dedicated animation software can do already, but just kind of bring that to Clip Paint. Not only that, but you can do it for like nested animation folders. So what if I wanted to do the entire of the colors palette, right? So again, let me easily take off this layer color. Let me easily take off this layer color. What if I want to do it for the whole colors? Because if I take off the colors, then you're not going to see the colors, you know? You can do it for there too. Let's say I wanted the whole color to be orange. And so let me put on layer color and now you see the entire coloring folder is now the layer color you set it. And so again, if I just click the paint bucket tool to have it orange, and then I click this, and now you see that every animated folder color is orange, which includes multiple, color groups. You see what I mean? So this is just the best method. I highly recommend it. This honestly is influencing me to stay on Clip Paint because that was the #1 kind of most headache when it comes to eating up your time when you're doing long animated projects. But I have a lot more respect for Clip Paint, and even though I don't feel the software is upgrading at like a rapid pace when it comes to the animation specific endeavor. And so yeah, that's the best method. Now take this, get to animating, do your indie project, do your animated shorts or loops, and save time doing this method. Honestly, I feel like it's not talked about enough. So yeah, let me know what you guys feel about the video. Press the like button, subscribe, maybe share it, and also follow me on Twitch because I'm going to be streaming more animation as I do my projects. So definitely check me out there. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.